When are you going to give me back my $200?
Mr. Logan, we had this all out 10 months ago. I did not steal $200 from you.
You stole it and you know it.
Excuse me, Mr. Logan, we're both going to be late.
I had $324 in my hand that day. When you entered the amount in my account, it was $124.
Remember, Mr. Logan, my cash balanced when you came back and complained.
Of course it balanced. You'd made a mistake in somebody else's account, and then you used my $200 to try to cover up your mistake. You thought I was just an absent-minded professor and I wouldn't notice. Well, I did notice, Mr. Tritt. I did notice.
Mr. Logan, I'm going to go a long, long way in the bank. I cannot afford to make a mistake.
I'll get you, Mr. Tritt. I don't like to be had.
Goodbye, Mr. Logan.
Goodbye, Mr. Tritt.
Mr. Logan, you want to cash those bonds now?
Yes, if you'd be so kind.
Oh, very well, I'll get the bond shot. Now, let's see, that's 325. That's $67.25. Perhaps we just better double check to be sure. $67.25 exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Tritt. Now, there is one more thing you can get from me, Mr. Tritt.
What's that?
$10,000 in $20 bills.
10,000.
You just go to your cage and get the money.
Oh, come now, Mr. Logan. Can't we just talk this over?
Put the money in a bag, bring it back, and put it here on the table.
All right, Mr. Logan, you just sit there. Just sit right there. I'll get it for you. Mr. Pinkston, call the guard. He's got a gun in his pocket. He's coming toward me. I wasn't calling. The phone rang. It rang for me. Just a minute. I'll put it in a bag.
Okay, put your hands up.
Careful, Louis. He's armed.
Mr. Logan, I'm sorry about this, but Mr. Tritt tells me you have attempted an armed robbery.
Mr. Tritt tells you? Well, Mr. Tritt, I fear, is suffering from some persecution complex.
Get his gun, Louis.
Well, he don't have a gun, Mr. Tritt.
Of course he has. It's right in his overcoat pocket.
I'll take it off, Mr. Tritt.
Mr. Tritt, are you quite certain you saw it? Because if you didn't, this is rather embarrassing.
It's perfectly all right, Mr. Pinkston. I won't sue.
It's here. It's got to be here. It's got to be here somewhere.
Mr. Pinkston, if you'd like to make a more thorough examination, I'd be delighted.
Heavens, no, Mr. Logan, really, that's not necessary.
Glad to.
I beg you, sir, pull up your suspenders. I must ask you to return to your cage now, Mr. Tritt. You've created quite enough disturbance. I hope you won't make a complaint about this, Mr. Logan. The Boston office would... Well, you know how they are in Boston about a thing like this.
Oh, no, I certainly wouldn't. After all, it was only some sort of aberration. No, I certainly wouldn't. If a thing like this were to get around, it could harm his career.
It could. It could indeed.
Oyster stew, everybody. There should be 7 oysters apiece, unless the cook ate one.
Could that be another telegram for you, Mr. Tritt? it's for me. Oh, how odd.
You know, that could be something important. It could be a death in your family.
Probably just a goodwill message. It's Christmas, you know.
Why are you so interested in Mr. Logan's business?
Because I know somehow it's for me. He's taunting me.
Oh, come now, Mr. Tritt.
All right, then I'll prove it. Well, you want me to prove it? Then I won't.
Well, then I will, Mr. Tritt. It's from Mother. So sweet. Poor dear. Flat on her back in the hospital. Displaced disc, you know. Her teeth in a glass on the windowsill.
I beg your pardon. Why would she keep her teeth in a glass on the windowsill?
Well, they need the sunlight. We all need sunlight.
Mr. Tritt, Mr. Logan would like to cash some bonds.
Well, here we go again, Mr. Tritt. Now go to your cage, get the $10,000, put it in an envelope, and this time bring it to me. Put the envelope at the table. Continue with the bonds. Now, Mr. Tritt, if you make any signal at all before I get out of the bank, I'll put a bullet in you. Right there. Now get back to your cage.
Mr. Pinkston, it's the holdup. See, Louis, it's Mr. Logan. Mr. Pinkston, I've got him. Hooray, I've got him. It's Mr. Logan. Go get him. We finally got him. I got him.
All right, put up your hands.
Well, gentlemen, here we are again.
He's got it. He's got $10,000 in 20s right in that bag.
Please, Mr. Tritt, don't start this again for your own sake.
Snatch the bag, Louis. Snatch it.
Now, really, Mr. Pinkston, if I had robbed your bank, you think I'd be standing right here in front of it like an idiot?
He has a point there, Mr. Tritt.
Well, he has the money, Mr. Pinkston.
Mr. Logan, do you mind if we look in your bag?
No, indeed.
Please, Mr. Logan, not in the street.
I insist.
But Mr. Logan, it's practically zero.
It's not a question of temperature, Mr. Pinkston. It's a question of honor.
Mr. Logan, I beg you.
It's in the snow. He's hidden in the snow.
What a shame. He was such a nice chap.
Louis, call a doctor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tritt. Mr. Tritt. Terribly sorry you've been treated this way, Mr. Logan.
Dear Mr. Pinkston, I have a dreadful admission. Some 10 months ago, I made a mistake, and to cover it, I took $200 from a customer's deposit. This first crime led to my second crime, the stealing of $10,000, which I am now returning by mail, minus, of course, the $200 for which I have made restitution. Sincerely, William Tritt.
Thank you, Louis. And don't forget that cash shipment from Boston arrives at 3.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pinkston,
Mr. Logan, what do you think has happened now?
really, I can't imagine.
Well, yesterday, except for $200, we got the money back in the mail. I called Mr. Tritt, of course, and you know he not only denied having taken the money, he denied having returned it.
Oh, dear, he is confused.
Mentally quite unstable, I'm afraid. Needless to say, we're dropping him.